the middle of the homeschool year, and it's about this time or around January where moms start to feel homeschool burnout. And in this video, I'm going to give you the definition for what homeschool burnout really is. I'm also going to give you 4 ways that I overcame homeschool burnout in hopes to give you guys a chance to dig yourselves out of it. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 ways to try to avoid getting burned out in the first place. So keep watching. Hey guys, it's Vani from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool and welcome to my channel. And in today's video, we are going to be chatting about homeschool burnout. Today's video is in collaboration with Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool and Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschooling. So make sure you check out their channels, which I put in the description below, along with the playlist for everyone else who has joined in this collaboration. You'll get a ton of information in this collaboration today. So first, I want to read you guys the definition of homeschool burnout. Burnout is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It is characterized by 3 dimensions. 1, feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion. 2, increased mental distance from job or feelings of negativity or cynicism related to one's job. And reduced professional efficacy, which is the ability to produce a desired or intended result. So let's think about this definition. This is made to be in the workplace, but let's think about this definition in our homeschool. As a homeschooling mom, your home is your workplace. Your homeschool is your job. It is your job, even though you're not getting paid for it, to educate your children and to raise those children. But your job is also, as a homemaker, as a wife, as a mother, you're also a chauffeur, an organizer, a grocery shopper, a meal planner, a chef, a housekeeper, and a dog walker. So there is no wonder why so many moms are experiencing burnout this time of year. During the holidays, and especially after the holidays, when all of the excitement is over, around January, is when I find that a lot of moms are experiencing homeschool burnout. Now, in the homeschooling itself, you are in charge of preparing the curriculum. First of all, you're in charge of choosing the subjects that you want to teach your children, and then finding the resources and the curriculum that are going to suit the individual needs of each child. Then you're finding ways to enrich their education. You're looking for field trips and printables and activities and crafts and nature studies and books and all kinds of things to make their learning a lot more fun. But then you also have to deal with the negative, if there's any negative attitudes around you. Your children may not be as motivated and excited as you are to homeschool. Most of the time they're not. Most of the time we are so excited to teach things and the kids are just not there because they're kids and what kids really want to do is school. But you also have to deal with other life stresses. Life stresses maybe within your own home, within your personal relationships, maybe outside of your home. Maybe you have sick parents you have to take care of, or you have a marriage that isn't working, or maybe you have a sickness that you're dealing with, or your children have a sickness that they're dealing with. There's so many other stresses that we take on as women that impacts our ability to homeschool and educate our children the best that we can, because we have all these other things going on in our heads and in our heart that make us just feel so overwhelmed and just completely burned out. So the first thing when you're feeling homeschool burnout is to determine what is causing it. Is it any of those things that I just mentioned? I want you to take a minute and maybe pause this video, grab a pen and paper, or if you have a journal, and really do some self-evaluation and look into your heart and think about, why am I feeling stressed out right now? Why am I not wanting to homeschool right now? What is causing me to feel a lack of motivation right now? Is it the attitude of my children? Is it something else going on within myself? Something going on outside of myself? Take some time right now to dig deep into yourself and figure out what is causing these feelings for you. Because if you don't know the root of the problem, you're not going to be able to overcome the homeschool burnout effectively. So go ahead and do that right now, because whatever is causing your homeschool burnout is causing you, according to the World Health Organization, burnout is going to cause exhaustion and a depletion of energy, and you can't get anything done when you're feeling like that. Now that you may or may not have done that little exercise, the second part of the definition of burnout, it's an increased mental distance from one's job or feelings of negativity or cynicism. Do you find everything wrong in your day? Is nothing your kid's doing good enough? Are you just frustrated because your plan is not working out? When you're feeling burned out, you're basically feeling stressed. And when a person is stressed, they are negative and they are cynical of everything. And this is going to put a damper in the relationship between you and your children, not to mention between you and your spouse, as well as your relationship with other people, because who wants to be around a negative and cynical person? So it's really important that we find out what is the root cause of your burnout and get to it and fix it. The third characteristic of burnout is reduced professional efficacy, which is the ability to produce a desired outcome. So if you are feeling burned out and you're still trying to teach your children, are you really being efficient? Are they really learning anything? Are you teaching out of a heart that's not full of joy and love? Definitely take a break, because you're probably not getting anywhere with your kids. So I want to share with you my experience in hopes to give you some ideas on how to dig yourself out of that hole of being burned out. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 ways to help you avoid getting here in the first place. So I just overcame feeling burned out. I was feeling burned out over lots of things. You know, you're trying to run a household. You have all these holidays coming up. I had all these businesses that I was trying to do and trying to find the right homeschooling rhythm for my family. My kids were not cooperating fully. And it just got to me, I was like pretty much done, to the point where I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And I had to sit back and take a little break and evaluate myself, evaluate all of the things that I was doing, what I could cut back on, and figure out how could I get my life on track so that I'm not overdoing everything, but I'm still getting to do the things that I really want to do while managing my life and my schedule and my homeschool. So I created for myself, and this is not a sponsored video, a planner with plum paper planner. And this is not a homeschool planner, because I realized that homeschool planning and having planners, although I love them, it just doesn't work out for the way that I homeschool. But this is considered my life planner. So in this planner, I have it broken down into a space where I can schedule my day and see if there is any free time that I can add anything when people ask me if I want to do something. I can look at the day in detail and tell them yes or no. I also have at the top of my planner 3 sections for the 3 businesses that I do, that instead of being overwhelmed by all the work of the different things that need to get done, I just list 1 to 3 things a day that I can do for each business, and then I fit that into the time schedule to make sure that I'm not overcommitting it again. And blocking this time out, you're not going to overcommit in doing other things. Also, having focused time to homeschool and focused time to do your other activities gets everything in its place, so that you're not overlapping your to-do list. Write down your time blocks for cleaning and Christmas activities and all those other things that you want to do, and make sure you make the time every week or bi-weekly, or at least definitely monthly, to get away with either your girlfriends or with your husband and have some adult time where you are just letting loose and having fun, whatever that means to you. We need to be able to be ourselves, aside from just being homeschoolers and aside from just being mothers and aside even just from being wives. I think it's a wonderful idea to surround yourself with a group of strong women who are in the same scenario as you, where you girls can go and get away once a month or once every 2 weeks to do something fun for yourselves. Just recently, a couple of my friends and I went out to dinner and then did an escape room, and we had all of our kids at my house. My husband babysat them. So they got to have a little play day, and we got to get away for about 2 to 3 hours, and it was refreshing and it was well needed. We had great conversation during dinner to let out, air out all the stuff that we're going through. And then we got to just focus on something other than ourselves and our problems by focusing on and completing an escape room together as a team. So having a life planner with everything laid out for your day will eliminate the stress of you overcommitting yourself. It's a visual way for you to see, this is the reality of my life, of what I can handle and what I can't handle. The second thing that I needed to do was to reevaluate our homeschool, and I needed to come up with a rhythm that finally worked for us. I mean, it took me months since the summertime, and I tweaked and tweaked and tweaked this schedule and this rhythm until I found the perfect rhythm that finally worked for us. And it is has dramatically changed how our homeschool day is going. I also had to be on top of the time frames that my children were taking to do each subject, because I was getting very frustrated that homeschool was taking 8 hours sometimes during the day because of distractions, lack of motivation, etc. So even though we had found a rhythm, some of the subjects were just taking way too long. Homeschooling was taking up my entire day and not allowing me any time to get anything else done. So what I started to do was to allow a certain time block for each individual subject, and this was the amount of time that the subject was to be worked on, and then we stopped, and then the next day we pick up where we left off. So you can also either leave that work, like I said, for the next day, or if the work is not being done in time because your child's fooling around, you can assign that for homework later to teach them, like, listen, in life we have a time period where things need to get done, and if you don't get this done, the consequence is you got to get it done later. So you can decide what is best for you and your family. The third thing that I had to do was take a break. We have to know when it's time to take a break. If for us it came perfectly because Thanksgiving was coming and I gave us off the entire week of Thanksgiving. My older daughter, who is in high school, she had off, so it was just perfect timing to get off. But maybe you're getting burned out and there's no break coming up. You're a homeschooler. You just take the break when you need it. Know when to take a break. And in that break time that you're not schooling your children, use that time to get yourself in order. If your burnout is being caused by because you have so many appointments, then take that week to get all of your appointments taken care of or scheduled. If there's a lot that you have to do for your parents, take a week and get it all done for them so that you don't have to focus on it during the homeschool year. If your schedule and your rhythm is burning you out because everything is not going well in your homeschool with your kids, then take that week and order yourself some new resources, or just research through what you have and go through your schedule, figure out what's working, what's not working, and just make a better plan. And the fourth thing that I needed to do to manage my burnout was to review my curriculum and my subjects. We have to decide if there's a subject that's causing extreme stress for your children, which is in turn going to cause stress for you. Is there something that you can tweak or move around or change or eliminate to make the school day brighter and happier and more positive? We actually had to add a subject in order to do this because one of my kids was having a really hard time with their writing portion of the language arts. So we had to add in a writing curriculum that broke down the writing process easier for us so that writing is not such a burden. So even though we took on a subject, it's actually brought more peace into the day. Because if there's a subject that your child is dreading every day, if they're crying during it, if they're being stressed out, it is not worth it. They're not gonna really be learning anything from it during that time. You might as well change it and stop it now before you realize that they never got anything from it in the first place. Now I'm gonna give you 3 ways to avoid getting here in the first place. So if you're already here, work it out and then follow these steps so that it doesn't happen again. And if you haven't experienced burnout yet, then please follow these steps so that you can possibly avoid it altogether. The first one is to lower your expectations. Don't set so many specific expectations for your day. I don't know how many times I've woken up so excited in the morning. I have this beautiful day planned out. I have all my stuff laid out. I have all these projects and plans. Everything is gonna be so wonderful today. And then I have a child wake up cranky, or somebody woke up late, or somebody woke up sick, or something happened and the whole day went downhill. And I was extremely irritable the entire day because my plans did not work out. So lower your expectations a little bit, leaving room for error. If you're like me and you're a person who's like well planned and things have to go this way, you have to cut that out because things don't ever go perfectly. Like rarely do they ever go perfectly. I mean, you could plan this perfect day out and then you wake up and you have the worst cramps ever. So lower your expectations, mom. Learn when to say no. Don't just say yes to every activity, but don't also say no to every activity. Just find that perfect balance. You want to have enough activities in your life and things that are making your life fun and exciting and joyful, because you only have one life and you don't want to just be in the classroom, in the house, learning every single day. You want to get out of the house and have some fun and do experiences and adventuring together, but you don't want to overdo it. So consider making some sort of plan and knowing when to say no. And the third thing is make time for yourself. I cannot stress how important this is. If you've seen my channel and my videos for a while, you know how important self-care is to me. I've been homeschooling since 2012, and I've learned that I need time with my girls. Like, I need to have time with my girls. I have to have time to let loose and laugh and just not be a mom, not be a wife, not be a homeschooler, and just be me, just be Bonnie, and just enjoy that time with my friends. So if you don't have a big group of friends, you want to get away with your husband, just get away and have some self-care time, even by yourself. Like, you need to go to the spa, get a massage, you get your toenails done, or just go to the park and sit there and journal. Do it. Make that time, but make it every single month for yourself. Invest in yourself before you invest in others. I don't know if that's a saying, but it sounds like it should be. Go ahead and share this video with someone who you think needs to hear it. And in the next video, I'm going to be sharing with you our homeschooling Christmas plans for the month of December. You don't want to miss it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I pray that you guys are all well, that everybody is going to get over their burnout. You're going to get through this. You're going to get over it. Don't worry, there's sunshine around the corner. You got this, mama. Make sure to watch my other playlists and videos to help you on this journey, and I'll see you next time.